Roll4Crit.com presents How to Play Firefly the Game in 5 minutes or less or more. Firefly the Game is a lot like Firefly the Show, only it's a game. You can tell because it has the words "the game" right there in the title. Also, unlike the show, the game is still being produced. Wah, wah. Designed by Sean Swigert and Aaron Dill and published by Gale Force 9. Your goal in Firefly will differ depending on your chosen story card, but whatever your win condition, you'll be hiring crew, completing jobs, and earning cash to get there. You'll start by choosing a ship and a captain. Each captain has his or her own special abilities and stats. Of course, you'll also receive a drive core for your ship, a choice of up to 3 starting jobs, plus 3,000 credits, 6 barrels of fuel, and 2 parts. Parts of what? No one is sure. Players will get to choose any unoccupied point to start on the board, then play begins. One important mechanic to understand before we dive in is skill tests. A number of cards may ask you to perform a test based on a certain attribute. For example, here's one for the fighting attribute. To make a skill test, you must roll 1 die and reach the indicated number to succeed. However, this will be made much easier with the help of your crew and gear, on which you'll find symbols corresponding to various attributes. Each one of these symbols counts as 1 point towards your die roll, increasing your chances the more stuff you have. If you roll the Firefly symbol, this counts as a 6, plus you get to roll the die a second time and add both numbers together. In this way, it's always possible to pass any given test even without any of that given symbol. If it's a kosherized skill check, that means you can't use any gear. If the keyword bribes is there, you can pay $100 apiece to add to your roll. Okay, that's skill tests. On your turn, you may carry out 2 separate actions. You cannot repeat the same action twice. Now I will go over the potential actions. 1. You can move. There are 2 different ways to move, mosey and full burn. If you mosey, just move 1 space in any direction on the board. You did it! You moseyed. If you full burn, then you must spend 1 of your fuel tokens. Your ship's drive core will have specific details as to your ship's range. This is the amount of spaces that you can travel at one time after initiating a full burn. But full burning is risky. For each space you move during a full burn, you must also draw a card from either the Alliance or Border Space decks, depending on which section of the board you're in. Most of these cards say keep flying, in which case there's nothing to worry about. But some can offer interesting opportunities, cause you to stop completely, or even bring the Alliance cruiser or Reaver ship directly to you. This can be bad. So again, it's a risk, but that's moving. Second, there's the buy action. On the board, you'll see the names of 5 different supply planets, which correspond to 5 different supply decks. If you're at one of these spaces and choose the buy action, you get to consider 3 cards. The way it works is you can first look through the deck's discard pile, choosing any that you like. For any number less than 3 that you take, you draw the remainder from the top of the deck. Then you can purchase up to 2 of those cards, assuming you have the money. You might find new crew members to hire, gear, or ship upgrades. You can only have a max of 6 crew members at a time. There's no limit to the amount of gear you can carry aboard your ship, but each crew can only have 1 gear equipped. As part of your buy action, you may also purchase fuel for $100 apiece or parts for $300 apiece. The third action choice is Deal. This allows you to get jobs, which allow you to get money. 5 locations on the board correspond to 5 different decks. Just like buying, when you're at one of these spaces, you may consider up to 3 and take up to 2 jobs from the discard pile or main deck to be completed in the future. At any given time, you can have a max of 3 inactive jobs in your hand, plus 3 active jobs in play. Once you complete a job with someone, you become solid with them. When that happens, you can also sell cargo and contraband as part of your deal action, and potentially get other benefits as well. Of course, that brings us to our final action, working a job. Each job card will have specific instructions as to how to work and complete them. First, look to see if there are any skills or items needed to start the job. For example, this one requires that you have at least 2 fight symbols across all of your characters. Then, check out the first step. Usually it will involve going to a certain location where you'll receive tokens that represent either passengers or cargo, or if it's an illegal mission, fugitives or contraband. Then, you'll have to go to a second location and deliver them to get paid. Sometimes jobs will require you to draw cards from the Misbehaved deck. These cards will present you with risky scenarios in which you'll have a couple different options of how to get by, either by making a skill test or using a specific item. If you fail to complete any of these, you'll just have to start all over again on your next turn. Sometimes you'll also have to make a skill test to complete a job. Once you complete a job, you get the listed amount of money. You must also pay any crew that you have the amount listed in the bottom right of their card. Before a job starts, you decide which crew members you're going to be taking with you and therefore must be paid. Crew members that you don't take will save you money, and they'll be safe from potential dangers, but their skills and attributes won't contribute to your success. If you don't have any active jobs or anything else to do, you can also use the work action at any planet to simply receive 200 credits. Simple, boring, effective. A few more tidbits for you. Sometimes crew can get disgruntled, either because of a card event or because you decided not to pay them on a job. Disgruntled crew get disgruntled tokens and might be a problem in the future. Unlike normal crew, your captain can be disgruntled twice. If he gets disgruntled twice, he fires his entire crew. If you take a moral crew member on an immoral job, they will also get disgruntled. Crew can also die. If they die, they're out of the game. However, your captain can never die. If your captain should be made to die, he instead becomes disgruntled. If you're ever on the same space as another player, you can trade cards, money, or any other items in the game. If one of you has a disgruntled crew member, the other can actually hire them for their original asking price. Various events might result in you receiving one or more warrants. For each warrant token you have, if you land in the same space as the Alliance cruiser, you must pay 1,000 credits. You'll also lose your solid reputation with someone if you receive a warrant while working one of their jobs. First player to complete the story card's goals wins. So that about covers it, except for some things, but there are a lot of things. So that about covers it. In conclusion, fly, buy, deal, work, stay shiny. That's Firefly the Game in a nutshell. Did you get all that?